No. Dust has settled somewhat. The Last of Us Part 2 is a fantastic game, without question. It's an expertly crafted experience, which deals with the themes of hatred and revenge felt by the player through its tight gameplay systems, smooth animations, and incredible cinematics. But is it fun? I don't think it is, and I'm going to explain why in this video, but first, what is fun? Google Define shows us: noun, enjoyment, amusement, or light-hearted pleasure. Adjective, amusing, entertaining, or enjoyable. And a verb, joke or tease. And the example they've given for verb is, no need to get sore, I was only funning. Never in my life have I heard the word funning before. The fuck is funning? Fun, much like comedy, with the exception of my videos, is very subjective. Not everyone is going to find the same things fun, just like not everybody finds the same things funny. Some people may find fun in train spotting, but not for me. Fun is also linked with play a lot of the time, so with the phrase fun and games, they often go together. You don't usually get fun without playing, and obviously video games ties into that idea of playing to give you fun. Ideally, video games are to provide you fun. So a lot of people often play video games to have fun because they're trying to escape the reality of this hell that we're all living in. That's the current year of 2020, where everything's just going completely to shit and no one knows what the fuck they're doing, and it's like, oh my god. But people like to have fun when they play games. And you know what they say, time flies when you're having fun, except for me when I'm playing The Last of Us Part 2, because that game felt like a complete slog. I did not have fun with this game at all. But why? Why is The Last of Us Part 2 not fun? Well, first of all, it's not supposed to be fun. It's not. It's not supposed to be a fun game. I mean, it's quite clear that it's not supposed to be a fun game. In a Games Radar article that I saw recently, Neil Druckmann is quoted as saying, we don't use the word fun. They did not think about fun at all when making this game. And that's totally okay, because that's the type of game that they wanted to make. That's the story that they wanted to tell. And honestly, when you're dealing with these themes of hatred and revenge and this cycle of violence, you can't really draw any fun from that. The game focuses mainly on this cycle of hatred and tries to tell this incredibly deep story involving loss. So when you look at the story itself, you're not going to draw any fun from that story. You're just not. You will in the flashback sections. Oh my god, that section with Ellie and Joel where they go to the museum for Ellie's birthday is incredibly wholesome, and my heart could not take it. Oh, it was heartbreaking, it really was. Just with the fact that you know what has happened. I miss him. Oh, Joel. But aside from the story, when you look at the gameplay, a lot of the gameplay either involves looting up houses, so walking around, hitting triangle at every single moment that you possibly can to open drawers very, very slowly and then take whatever is inside. And I did not realise until watching Nakey Jakey's video about The Last of Us Part 2 that you can turn on auto pickup. So you don't need to walk around spamming triangle at every which way. You'll just automatically pick everything up, and how lovely is that? That's more fun, isn't it? I mean, it will cut down the amount of time I think it would take to fill those looting sections. But along with those, you have these stealth sections where you're trying to fight off the infected or other humans who are trying to kill you at every turn. I tell you what, my little heart cannot take those sections. It's so stress-inducing. I have not been able to play this game for any longer than, say, 90 minutes at a time, just because it's so heavy. I want to get through the story because I want to experience the story, but then these sections, they seem to last for ages. I'm trying to get through, I'm trying to stealth kill everyone, and it takes such a long time. But at the same time, it's like that idea of like almost getting caught when that noise ramps up.
Stairs.
That's our guys executing those freaks.
You're like, I'm about to get caught, so you like step back, and it's just like, I just want to get through this section, I just want to get to the next bit. But no, I need to sneak up on someone and be like, shh, silence. Those bits are stress-inducing. I do not find stealth fun in games myself, which is very strange because I really enjoyed the first game. The first game is one of my all-time favourite games, and I thought I would enjoy this one, but I don't. A lot of the time I ended up just darting through. I was just running and trying not to get killed. I just run through and hope for the best. After the respite that you get from these little stealth sections where you have to fight off infected or humans, or when you've been looting, you'll come through a tight space, and honestly, it's actually become very predictable now in these games where someone's going to jump out at you at any second. Like, so many times in this, I was just like, literally, when I've squeezed through this gap at the end of this, somebody's going to come out from the side and take me out, and lo and behold, every time. You're very predictable in that sense. Takes the fun out when it's predictable. Like I said, there are fun moments. Like that moment with Joel and Ellie when they go to the museum for Ellie's birthday. Love that moment. Or when Ellie's out with Tommy doing some target practice in the distance. Not quite the next bit, but that was stressful. But the part with Tommy was fun. And there are fun moments with Abby as well, like that time when you go to the aquarium with Owen and you can shoot the bow and arrow to hit all the targets. Just little moments like that which are fun. But the overall experience, I can't get on with. But that's not to say that you cannot find fun in all of those other moments. Like I said, I myself, I don't like stealth. I could not handle this type of combat. But I think you find fun in this game with mastery of the combat and subsequent playthroughs. Because once you get better at the combat, there's all these different ways that you could approach a scenario. So when you do New Game Plus and you obviously like you have all your gear and everything like that, you could approach these different things, more explosives and like just taking out whole bunches of people. That is where I think the gameplay starts to become fun, when it is a bit more action-packed and you can go around blasting everyone. You know, as though Ellie or Abby's the Doomslayer, just jumping in like setting traps and blowing everyone up. All this fucking gore and viscera flying everywhere. That is what is fun. That is what I want more of. I don't like stealth. And not only that, Ellie's section of the game, I feel like nothing happened. I honestly thought, although they made you play as Abby, a character that you're supposed to hate when you start playing as her, I actually thought her section of the game was a lot better than Ellie's. I thought it was way more interesting with the hospital section, fighting the Rat King, going to the aquarium. I thought that part was more interesting, especially when you go to Haven with Lev and Yara. That part was amazing. Abby's section of the game is so much better. If you like Abby or not, maybe because she's more muscly than you and you're a little bit jealous, I don't know. She's definitely more muscly than me. I'm jealous. You do learn to love Abby, or I did. She has better weapons as well. More weapons, in fact, than Ellie. I thought Ellie's section of the game was just such a slog until you get to Abby's section, which really ramps up and actually does start to become a little bit more fun. But again, gameplay largely the same. Like, I don't want to be too negative, because at the end of the day, The Last of Us Part 2 is an incredible and interesting game. All the stealth, exploration and combat scenarios all come together with the story in an intense journey. Whether you like the story or not, the one that was told shows the darker side of humanity and the extent that some people will go to exact revenge. They definitely paint Ellie to be the villain because of her quest for revenge. It's a selfish act, and as they say, an eye for an eye will leave the world blind. Did you find The Last of Us Part 2 really stressful? Which part did you find particularly intense? Let's discuss it down in the comments. Please give this video a like and subscribe for discussions about all things gaming, past, present and future. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.